Hello, this is Jake with Optimus Futures, and welcome to our introduction tutorial for Trading Technologies TT's options chain. Now, the TT options chain gives options traders the ability to view options contracts in an industry standard display and the power to rapidly enter orders with the preference of order entry widgets. The options chain allows traders to customize their view of options market data, volatility calculations, Greeks, theoretical values, and position information, all in the same platform professional futures traders use to execute trades. Now in this video, we will explore the interface of the options chain widget. We will customize the display of our options chain, and we'll also demonstrate how to place orders. So first up, when we open our options chain widget, we are presented with the Market Explorer, which we will use to select the options on January 2019 crude oil futures. So you can find our Market Explorer located here in the top left corner of our options chain widget. So once you press on the search button, you'll be presented with our Market Explorer. As you can see, it is separated in 4 categories by exchange, family, product, and term. So to select the options for January 2019 crude oil futures, for the exchange, we will select CME. For our family, we'll type in CL. So we'll go down to our product line and we'll type in LO for the monthly options product. And then finally, on term, we'll select January 2019. And once we select it, it'll take just a second. As you can see here, we now have the options chain opened up for the crude oil futures January 2019 options. So now that we have our options chain up, at first glance, you can see the options chain displays market data, theoretical prices, volatility, and Greeks of all strikes for an expiry. Now the underlying futures contract is displayed at the top of the widget, alongside the days till the expiration indicator. Now each row in the options chain displays data for an individual strike price. The strike column lists the strikes from high to low, and the strike closes to the money is indicated by a bold horizontal line. Market data for calls are to the left of the strike column, and puts are on the right bid columns, and they're highlighted in blue, while the ask columns are highlighted in red, as you can see on our screen. We also have the delta and the theoretical value for both calls and puts. Now the options chain displays implied volatility and additional Greek calculations. Implied volatility is calculated using the midpoint of the bid-ask spread of the put or call that is out of the money. TT also calculates a fitted vol curve to smooth outliers and address strikes with the bid-ask spreads or no market at all. Finally, the active column is the volatility currently being used to calculate Greeks and theoretical values. If the user has to define their own vol curve, active uses those values. So otherwise, it uses the TT fitted vol curve. Now at each strike, the Greeks are calculated for the put or the call that is out of the money, except for the delta, which is calculated for both. If the theoretical value for an option is at least 1 tick below the actual bid price, or if the theoretical value is at least 1 tick above the actual tick price, those opportunities are highlighted in the options chain. So TT's options chain lets us configure our display using additional pieces of useful data. So we can right-click to access our settings menu, and then click on Set Options Chain Columns. So as you can see, if we right-click anywhere within this, go down to Settings Options Chain, and then right here where my mouse is currently hovering over, we can set our options chains columns. And now we configure our columns to our liking. So for example, we can move our bid, our put bid, and ask quantities, and add our call bid and ask quantities. So as you can see here, if I scroll down just a bit, we can find our put bid quantities, and we can drag this to the top for organizational purposes. And we can do so with our put ask quantities as well. We can also do the same for our call bids. And we can do the same thing for our call ask quantities as well. And let's also add columns for our positions and call inputs as well as volumes. So if we scroll down here, we'll see our C position, our call position that is, and drag it to our desired location. If we'd like to, we can enable any of the other additional columns as you see here. All you'll need to do is just click on one of the various positions here, click the checkbox, and that will enable it. And now finally, let's add settlement volatility, which calculates volatility using the previous day's settlement price. This is labeled as SV. So we'll just need to scroll through our menu here one more time. And as you can see, SV is enabled already, but we can drag it to the top for organizational purposes. So now with our options chains configured, we can create a new tab to display the options chains for the following month by simply clicking on the plus sign to add a new tab. So if we back out of this, save our settings, it will apply it. And as I mentioned, if you click the plus sign in the bottom left-hand corner, this will create a new tab for the next month of our options, for our crude oil options, that being February 2019. So as you can see, we have added all those additional columns and our options chain is now organized to our liking. So one last note, we can also quickly trade any contract from the options chain. So if you click on any bid or ask within the options chain, this will actually launch a floating order widget. And as you can see here, ours is just the standard floating order widget, but it's actually possible to configure, for example, a DOM, otherwise known as an MD trader on TT's platform. All you'll need to do is right click once again, and then we can launch our linked MD trader. So now in our preferences, whenever we open up or click on one of our call ask or call bid, or our put bid or put ask, it will now open up in MD Trader since the option is linked to it. And from here, you can just simply place an order as you would typically expect. And that pretty much wraps it up. As you can see, TT provides traders with a wealth of information and tools to view and analyze trade options products across multiple exchanges. So if you have any further questions on TT's options chain, feel free to post them at community.optimusfutures.com.